Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council and core contributors, as well as discuss what the Grants Council and ambassadors are up to, so let's get started. The Optimism Bedrock release is here. As a reminder, Bedrock is the name of the first ever official release of the OP stack, which is a set of free and open source modular components that work together to power Optimism. This release will bring reduced fees, shortened deposit times, improved proof modularity, enhanced node performance, and improved Ethereum equivalence. There's a brief period of downtime, but all systems are back up and running again, and Optimism confirmed that this would be the last upgrade requiring downtime. It was unavoidable in this instance because of the plans to migrate to an architecture that is more aligned with ETH. Next, the V3 spot market has now been on mainnet for 2 weeks. The CCs have been doing QA in the meantime and are working on bootstrapping it with more liquidity, but are still seeking feedback from the Spartan Council. The loose target for Perp's V3 audit is July, as a lot of work has been done in parallel with the spot market work, and this will allow for a testnet competition. Progress has also been made on teleporters, and the CCs have been in touch with Chainlink on CCIP and working out details for cross-pool synthesis. During last week's meeting, Cav asked about what's next for the spot market, and Noah said possibly a curve pool setup with liquidity for the new stablecoin. He added it would also be a good time to start a conversation with 1inch in an effort to bring cross-asset swap volume back. The main thing right now is to begin testing the system with real money to ensure that everything is working properly. The next priority is then to get people using it and building out stats pages, tooling, and other resources so that all of that is ready for the Perps V3 launch. So now is actually a good time for governance to allow everyone to start thinking about the rollout plan with the core system and spot market live. Duck then brought up the topic of incorporating Thales overtime markets as a possible market in V3 to allow stakers to delegate collateral to these markets and realize the yield. There's some Thales specific details to work out, but it seems technically feasible according to Sunny, and some of the grants budget has already been set aside for this project. A bonus advantage of this plan would be that Thales would not be taking stablecoin liquidity that would have otherwise been available to other products such as Perps. LPs would therefore be minting fresh stablecoins against their collateral to be used in these OT markets only. Lastly, there was also a SIP presentation last week. SIP 2021 to add staked ETH and wrap staked ETH USD pairs to Synthetics Perps. Matt presented this SIP explaining that the motivation is to add support for these markets that is otherwise unavailable across centralized and decentralized exchanges. They would enable typical market use cases such as arbitrage and speculation, and have been specifically requested by Lido. Matt thinks these are very interesting pairs that nobody else really supports, and he thinks Synthetics could support them with tight caps and monitoring. Adam brought up the fact that this would be the first market being added where the funding rate will exclusively lean one way, and it makes sense to adjust to this dynamic slowly to make sure there are no weird or unaccounted for market behaviors. Caleb is concerned, however, that there is no borrowing capability anywhere due to the rebase dynamic, which is primarily an issue with wrap staked ETH. He also brought up the fact that there's no liquidity for these markets on any centralized exchanges, since they are primarily instruments for use in DeFi. Based on some of the concerns discussed, it was decided to separate the listings into 2 different SIPs because a few council members expressed concerns about wrapped staked ETH. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening.